Thank you so much for joining us today. First of all, I'd like you to introduce yourself to us the way you are most comfortable with.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Adewale Soremi. I was born about 4 decades ago into the family of Mr. and Mrs. Soremi in a remote village called Magbagbeodun. That is in Obafemi with the local government of Ogun State. And no water, no electricity, nothing, no social life. I grew up there. I attended Nawarugen Primary School, Magbagbeodun. I did my primary education there before I proceeded to Reverend Kuti Memorial Grammar School, Ishabo Abeokuta. That is the school of late Fela's dad. So after my secondary education, I proceeded to Moshood Abiola Polytechnic. Then it was Ogun State Polytechnic. I did my ND, that's National Diploma in Financial Studies, in 1996 to 1998. So I went for my 1-year industrial training, a compulsory industrial training, before I came back for my HND in the year 2000. I graduated in 2001 and went for my NYSC, National Youth Service Corps in Imo State. The village is called Ibise local government, and the village is Mbuto. So from there, after my NYSC, I went back to Abeokuta, my hometown. I went to my dad, visited him. Then through a friend of mine, I got a job in Fat Beans. That was Fat Beans Nigeria Limited. It has 2 lines of business. Sale of all sorts of tires, that is for truck, for cars and everything. And another arm, which is petroleum. You'll be seeing Fat Beans filling station all over the southwest in Nigeria. That is where I started my career from. So from there, I worked there for like 3 years. I went to Obasanjo Holdings, and I was a pioneer accountant of Obasanjo family, Ibogunla Ogun. That is the village of the former president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ibogunla Ogun is under for local government of Ogun State. I worked there briefly when Baba Obasanjo was in Aso Rock, and after he stepped down as the president in 2007, I left Obasanjo Holdings for another company called the Carrington Group. Carrington Group is located in Lagos with about 6 companies to make up the Consolidated Business Holdings Limited. I was employed as a cost and management accountant, and because of, I don't know what they saw in me, an open a vacancy existed then that they wanted to employ a business manager, and they did both internal and external advertisement, and I was lucky to get a job. I worked there as business manager, I think for 2 years or close to 2 years before I left for the Waterman College in Abeokuta. The Waterman College was founded by late Tayo Aderokun, that's the former MD of GT Bank. I worked there as a management accountant. So I did a total of 8 years in the Waterman College, and before I moved to Corona Schools Trust Council in Lagos, where I work till today as the financial controller. Part of the first set of challenges I had then is what we call HND BSc dichotomy. I graduated from a polytechnic, I had my HND, and along the line I registered for ICANN, as Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and I qualified within a space of less than 2 years. I think I spent the PE1. I was about to write the final PE2, and the syllabus changed that I needed to write another paper in PE2 before I can go to PE3. So that is why it took me like 3 days to qualify. But to God be the glory, we wrote the exam just once one stage at a 6, and I moved to another stage, and that's how actually achieve that. But because of the HND based dichotomy I mentioned earlier, I had to go back to the University of Lagos because of the discrimination of the HND graduates. But I asked myself, what is special in BSc that they are now, trying to recognize BSc more than the HND? I asked myself, I said, there's nothing, take any BSc holder from anywhere in the world, place us side by side, I will perform. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying I'm going to perform more than that person, but at least I am sure of myself that at least I will definitely give that person a run for his certificate, because I know the kind of the interest, the determination, and the kind of work I've put into the accounting profession. You need to continue to upgrade yourself. You need to upskill yourself. You need to attend webinars. You need to read wide, so that nobody will be able to just pack you into the dustbin along the line. So I did my BS in University of Lagos, and I actually did a direct entry. And in the course of doing that, maybe I should have mentioned that my then line manager did something that I will never forget. I've forgiven her, but at least one will still continue to remember that challenge. So anyway, we thank God we have the HND and we have the BSc. Then from there I proceeded to LAUTECH, that's Ladoke Akintola Institute of Technology Ogbomoso, to have my master's in business administration. Because to me as a person, I believe you just continue to upskill yourself. You need to learn and relearn and learn, unlearn and relearn again, so that you can continue to polish the kind of the stuff you have in you, so that you don't become outdated and you won't want somebody to just sweep you into the dustbin. So having said that, I had my MBA, and that has really helped me in all the places I've worked, because apart from just giving them the figures, be able to tell them what implication this will have on the business they do, or what impact that is going to have on the public, the impact that is going to have on the employees, the organization, and all the stakeholders of the organization. So then I told you I am a member, even as at now I'm a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, having qualified in 2006. I did my induction in 2007, and that's about 15 years ago. So I got my fellowship in 2017. That's about 5 years ago, and that was when I have 10 years after I have qualified and I've done my induction. So I did my induction in 2007. I got my fellowship in 2017, and I'm a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. To glory be to God. And I can't forget easily the role my late dad played in that, because let me quickly say something about that. My dad, Makinde Soremi, of blessed memory, and he died in 2008. I told you I qualified in 2006. I did my induction in 2007. Although I was still struggling then, I was unable to do much for him, but at least I tried my best to just give back to the man that the pillar that was behind my achievement then. And I can remember after my NYC, after starting job in Fat Games, I went to the village to visit him. You know, it's an old man. I can remember, I can still recollect the picture. He was lying on a couch. I was sitting on apoti. Apoti is just a small stool. Apoti is Yoruba, and the English is stool. I was looking at his face, and he told me, now that you have graduated and you have completed your compulsory NYSC, you know, he was talking to me in Yoruba, he said, Utipari Agumbaniro. He said, yes. Agumbaniro is the youth service corps. So I said I completed that there's one exam I'm planning to write, but then it cut in. He said, is it you don't want an accountant? That is it the exam of the accountants? Then I said yes, because when he was a child, he had a friend then. The man is also late now. Mr. Soremi was the regional manager of Union Bank. We used to call him Baba Badon. So the father of that Baba Badon happened to be the Wale of our field, the village head in those years when I was in primary school. So the man always come around December to visit the Wale. That man happened to be a childhood or age mate of my dad then. So, and that man happened to be a chartered accountant. That was how my dad got to know about that profession. That was why he asked me that, is it, Wale accountant, that is it a chartered accountant examination? I said, yes. And he told me then that, but they said that your exam is so difficult and very hard to pass. I said, yes, it's difficult. And he asked me, is it because it's difficult to pass? That's why you don't want to write it? I said, no. It's not that I don't want to write it, but I need to gather some money so that I can register and then claim exemptions and sit for the exam so that I can have money to sit for the exam. Then he said, well, if it is because of the difficulty, that you should not bother your head about that. That do I know? Have I seen people that write that exam and they pass? I said, yes, a lot of people will write and they pass. He said, I can remember, he said the same way the parents of those people who wrote and passed the exam, the same way they give back to them, the same way your mom, as in my mom, and himself gave back to me, that I should not bother about whether it's difficult or not, that I should just forge ahead and write the exam, which I did. So that statement alone happened to be a kind of a motivation, encouragement, and a kind of that actually built a zeal in me that, okay, go out there and write the exam, you will pass and flourish. So to God be the glory. I saved some money from my job then, and I started in 2005. I qualified in 2006. So I came back to him. Yes, I've written the exam that I've qualified. And to God be the glory. I mean, one thing I always tell myself is no pain, no gain. You need to go through some things if you really want to achieve, and you pass through those difficulties. And I mean, at the end of the day, you have the cause to glorify God for what He has done in your life. Wow. And in addition to that, I'm also a member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, and I became an associate of that, I think in 2011, like 11 years ago. That was after I had my ICANN and my MBA.
Let me ask you, what inspired the course you studied? What motivated you? Why accounting? Why financial management? Why not something else?
Okay, thank you very much. When I was in primary school, I mentioned it earlier that my dad had a childhood friend called Mr. Adewale Soremi, who happened to be a chartered accountant as well. The man is late, and he was the regional manager of Union Bank. Because we used to call him Baba Badon in our village then, but he lived in Ibadan. So whenever he comes into the village with he always, being head of a bank, definitely you have every year or every 2 years, there are some benefits you derive. It always changes car. And then I can remember it was Peugeot 505, that's sport car, not a saloon, not the long one, short one. Car, Peugeot 505. That was the best anybody can ride then in the 80s. In the 80s. So the man will use, and you won't, in fact, no matter how conversant you have with the environment, you won't know when the man will drive his car into the village. You just see the car parked. We call it Okwayokele. You won't hear any sound. And when the man comes down, very light in complexion man, of average height, and just like your head, no hair in his head at all. The hair, the few hair you see in his head, very light, and the breeze, when there was breeze, you see the hair just trying to, So, and they used to use one very clear glasses, like very tiny. The man, very handsome, very good looking. So whenever I saw that man during my primary school education, I used to ask my dad that, this man, what kind of job was he doing? And the man would say, the accountant, that is an accountant. I said, well, even me, when I grow old, I will become an accountant. I think that is where I picked the interest from. And I always ask people, if you want to become an accountant, what do you need to do? I can remember Mr. Ahmed, my primary school teacher at the end of blessed memory. The man used to come to our house in the village, and that if you want to study accounting, your mathematics need to be top notch. And I can remember whenever I go to the village, in my room then, in our room, the sitting room, so you will see where I used to work all this arithmetic something. It's still dirty today. That's how I started the interest. And when I got into secondary school, after my GS3, they said I should go to science because of my performance in GS3 exams. And I said, if I go to science, can I become an accountant? Somebody said, no, if you want to become an accountant, you have to, then limited information. Nobody knew.
No career counselor.
Exactly. Nobody knew that even if you're a medical doctor, you can cross and write. I become an accountant. Nobody knew of that. What we were told then is, okay, if you want to become an accountant, you have to be in commercial class. Then I was asked to go to science class because of the brilliance and because of the academic performance in my GS3 exam. But I would leave that place, I would go to commercial. I can remember my class teacher there, Mr. Ogundimu. He used to come with a very long cane to that commercial and say, this boy, I asked you to go to science. What are you doing in commercial? So we did that for the first 2-3 weeks of that term when I was in SS1. But I said, no, I want to become an accountant and I have to be in commercial class because of the orientation and what I've had from the primary school, that we want to become an accountant, you need to be in a commercial class. So after my secondary, I went to the Polytechnic. So then, no accounting as a course in that particular period. They changed it to financial studies. That is where the interest started from.
Okay. What are your 3 top values that you admire in people?
Integrity. I cherish integrity. I cherish integrity so much. If you have integrity, I can be with you anytime. And I always encourage people that you need to develop integrity. Integrity is not only that integrity in all ramifications. Because there are some people, they will be in positions and not that they will embezzle money, but if they see something wrong and they cannot correct it, or they can't speak the truth, definitely they lack integrity. So if you say integrity, we are not talking of embezzlement of fund alone. Integrity in all facets of life. So number 2, I so much cherish transparency. You need to be transparent. You need to let people know what you're doing. You need to communicate, clear communications, because if people don't know what you are doing, or they don't know what you are doing in that your space of work, they can misconstrue it to be another form. Yes, the top decision, I said the decision to study accounting.
Okay.
The decision to break that HND BSc dichotomy by making sure that I did my BSc in the University of Lagos.
Okay.
And the third one is the decision to become a chartered accountant.
Wow, great. Okay. 5 takeaways.
And the one I've not been able to achieve is the decision to become an elected, exactly, to be elected into a political office.
And are you still pursuing that?
Yes, fortunately. Definitely, I'm pursuing that.
Okay. Okay.
Because I want to bring succor, I want to bring good life to where I hail from.
Happiest career memory or happiest career moments?
Happiest career moment, I'm enjoying my career as a chartered accountant, and presently I'm the financial controller of Corona Schools Trust Council in Lagos, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm happy with what I'm doing presently.
All right. So 5 takeaways on a getaway.
5 takeaway on a getaway. Anything that will make me access information wherever I am, like my laptop, my phone, and access to internet, so that I'll be able to know what is happening within my vicinity and even throughout the whole world, because the whole world has become a global village. So with internet, with the power of internet and technology, you can actually have access to such. And then if I'm going somewhere, I need to have to be liquid. I need to have cash with me so that I can do whatever I want to do with money, because money is very key. Wherever I want to go, I should have access to I think I've mentioned it. I said money, I said internet, then gadget to access the internet, like laptop or phone.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Now, this is serious. Do you have anything you would like to correct in your past? If there are, what are those things? 2 things maximum, or 1 that you would like to correct in your past?
You know what the people always say? There's no decision making is a risk. There are some decisions one will have made in the past, and you will know that or not. I mean, hadn't been it is now that I want to take the decision, I will have taken it. I would have taken a different decision, and the decision is to work with a woman business. I don't think I will work with a woman business again. Wow. If I want to work, with a woman business, it would be I work with myself as a woman business, as an employer of labor. So it's good to work in a structured environment where you can flourish, where you can develop your career. But working with you, I'm not discouraging people that have chosen to do that line, but it's not the best.
Wow. That's a good one. That's a great one. Okay, your 3 favorite books or movies, you can mix them. Favorite books or favorite movies?
Yes, favorite book. Number 1, Rich Daddy Poor Daddy.
Okay.
Number 2 is I think 47 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene.
48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power. And I love that book so much. Then it's a movie. I will go back to a Yoruba movie, The Yoruba Man, and I so much cherish mainframe movies like Shaworide, Agogo Ewo.
Okay.
Those are the epic movies that I so much cherish. They just did one recently. They called it Ayinla. I enjoyed that as well.
Okay.
And that was powered by TK. That's Mr. Tunde Kilani. Zandegbaman, a film producer and a director, and he doesn't know me, but I know him very well. He's an elderly person. Because everybody knows him, except if you are not a fan of
Yoruba movies. Yeah, true.
Yoruba movies. Tunde Kilani is doing well, and I just pray for long life, good health for him, so that he can do more work. Because our children, they don't cherish all those Yoruba movies anymore. But if you have this kind of job, the archive, and they have opportunity to see the movie in the future, it will broaden their mind. At least they will learn 1 or 2 things from it, and most of what is there is they are lessons one can learn, and make sure that in life you don't misbehave, you don't go astray, just to guide.
All right.
That's what I said. Any mainframe production, I always go for it and make sure that I enjoy it.
2 more questions.
Go ahead.
Second to the last one. If you are not in your current career, if you are not an accountant, what other thing could it have been?
I won't deceive you. It's not for the fact that you want me to answer the question. I will have told you that after accounting is accounting.
Wow, yeah. If that is it, then it is.
After accounting is accounting. I love accounting. I love financial management. I love, everything that I should say with accounting. You see, accounting is broad. It's not just one way something. Business administration is part of accounting. Because if you don't know how to manage the money you have, you won't be able to manage a business. Because if you have a business, you don't have a business just for fun. You have a business to make money. And if you want to make money, you need to be accountable for everything you spend and for every kobo you earn. So after accounting is accounting.
Interesting. Okay, that's good. My last question.
Thank you.
Your top 3 counsels, advice for younger people, students in secondary school, for children growing up, for people who want to study accounting, or for people who feel like, I'm not good in this subject, but I want to become this. For people who see you as a role model, like you saw somebody as a role model, what would be your top 3 counsels to younger people?
Number 1, I will encourage them to be well determined. Yes, a conviction that this is what I want to do, and they pursue their goal or their career with utmost sincerity and purpose. This is what I want to pursue, and this is the reason, and this is the purpose of pursuing that career. So that if they have that conviction from the beginning, definitely every other thing they need in life will come in. If you determine to pursue a particular goal, is for you to live a good life, is for you to make money to live a good life. And if you are determined, you are disciplined enough, you will definitely achieve your goal, and you'll get to where you want to be or you plan to be. And what I would say is, for anybody who wants to study accounting, there is what we call paradigm shifts. Since I've shifted from the normal accounting of, book recording, passing journals and everything, you need to be techie. What I mean, the power of IT is very key. If you are an accountant and you are very good at data analytics, about financial analysis, analytics and the likes, you will go places. Don't just leave yourself in the past, but make sure that it's just normal accounting that you do. You need to upskill. You need to learn new things, because accounting and IT cannot be separated. Information technology is very key.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Soremi.
Then another thing I will encourage the young people to have is integrity. Whatever you do, have integrity. Be upright. Although Yoruba people say, we are human, you make some errors, but be truthful. If you make a mistake, own up and say, I made a mistake here, you have learned from it, that will not happen again. That's how to live life.
Wow, thank you. So your number 1 is they should be determined. They should be determined. Number 2 is for them to be computer savvy, tech savvy.
Yes, tech savvy.
And number 3 is integrity, uprightness. Thank you so much, Mr. Soremi. Thank you so much for coming on board.